Now I would like to request Mr. Gautam Manoj, head the business studio, along with our jury member, Mr. P.K. Verma. I would like to request Mr. Animesh Agarwal to please come up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we have together for Mr. Animesh Agarwal, co-founder and CEO of Tractor Junction. Okay, now I request my secretary to please convey the name.
And the award goes to Mahindra Logo 7 FSPI.
Alright everyone, please put your hands together and let's welcome the winner for the title Best Tractor above 60 horsepower, and it goes to Mahindra Logo 755 DI. Congratulations once again. Thank you so very much, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we people already know that we are here to celebrate our Indian Tractor of the Year 2022. And yes, we have a lot of categories. Yes, we have a lot of leads to achieve. But before that, since we already know that we have the most prominent and the promising names from the tractor industry and of course from the farm machinery, and we would like to take, the pinch of the advantage, you can say, to create one panel, create one section where all we will call a few of the names, and we would like them to share the idea, vision, and create a good interactive session for all of us. And today's topic that we will be having here is the customer centricity in digital era. As we people already know, digital era is something, it is not the situation of India, it is the progressive idea of India. Now we have seen since we all deal with the agriculture and that's the rural area of India, where the technology is still a biggest challenge. But indeed, this is the necessity of the time. So we thought, let's create a good conversation, let's create a good topic for all of us to, just take a look at what kind of solutions that we all can create together, since we have all the promising names from the fraternity. So, to do that, I would like to request few of one of the promising names that we have here. And also, I would like all of you to please join this session, because we will be opening the floor for everyone. If anybody who wants to, add something to the topic, share their own vision and experience with us, we are definitely looking forward to it. First and foremost, everyone, please get ready. Okay. I think we are all set to go. First, I would like to request Mr. Mahesh Kulkarni, Head of Marketing, Mahindra Tractors. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And now we request you to please take a seat. Now I would like to request Mr. Rajiv Velan, who is the Chief of Sales and Marketing, Swaraj Tractors. Let's welcome him up on stage. So request you to please take a seat. Also, I would like to request Mr. Kumar Vimal, Director, Sales and Marketing, CNH Industrial. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We request you to please take a seat. Now I would like to request Mr. Rajiv Thakur, Head Brand Excellence Escort Limited. Now I would like to request Mr. Sanjay Kapoor, CEO, Landscape India Agro. Also, I would like to request Mr. Gaurav Pool, GM Sales and Marketing, CS Specialty, to please join our panelists up on stage. And to moderate this entire session, I would like to request Mr. Pushan Sharma, Director Research, to please come up on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for all the panelists and applause to the moderators. Over to you.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On this rainy day in Delhi, I'm glad all of us could make it here. I think this picture makes for a really pretty picture here. All these gentlemen in about 10 days will be competing hard for the market share. But here we are all trying to share knowledge with all of us in this room. And the topic that we have at hand for today is a really interesting one. It's a combination of two things. One, customers, who we're all here to serve. All of us, the objective that we all have is to serve the customer. And the other moving piece that we have along with that is the digital era. All of us here today recognize that the digital era is really changing things rapidly. Gone are the days in the 90s when information would slowly populate from the West to the Indian markets. Today, whatever happens, by the second the updates are available in India. The customer is connected, the customer is aware, and the customer is demanding. And we're all here to understand from these gentlemen, to dip into their wisdom of decades, to understand how they are seeing customer expectations and its evolution. So let me now begin, by addressing my first question to Mr. Mahesh Kulkarni, and you can take the mic ahead, Mr. Kulkarni. And what I want to understand from you is that with the increasing internet penetration in rural India as well as smartphone penetration, how do you see customer needs evolving? So, I'm audible? Yeah, okay. So the internet penetration, what you talked about, is really increasing in India. That's given. You can say roughly around, and various studies are on, like many studies done in last couple of years. And the figure that comes out to be roughly around 646 million users in India currently use the internet activity. And out of that, 352 are actually based in rural India. So the rural India has already overtaken urban India. So and it's growing very rapidly as well. And there is a lot of headroom above to grow further. So that's the one big thing which is actually already happening there. When we did a lot of deep dive in this part, actually, to understand what is changing, where the rural customer is actually going, how is he using the digital internet, for what he is using for, and there are a lot of studies happen on that internally in Mahindra as well. And we found roughly the space of the digital space for the rural customer in India is basically revolving around the social networking. That's one of the very large piece about the connectivity, and that comes out to be because of WhatsApp medium. And another part is actually seeking the information. How correctly, how easily, as you rightly said, how easily I can access that information. So that's another piece that is coming out very loud and clear. Secondly, they also want to actually do a lot of agri-based search. As I said earlier, 352 million are using internet, and out of that, around 28% are actually doing the agri search online while buying any kind of equipment, any kind of tractor, fertilizer, seeds, tires, and so on. So that's a very big number. Like 28% are searching for that kind of.
And we found out what is actually changing, what they really want to have. The predominantly came out loud and clear. They wanted to have the very easy access. They want to have the changing needs, as rightly said, is about very easy access, very convenient way of actually getting the data, very simple way to actually decode that data, and so on. So if you ask about how that translates to any of the manufacturer or any of the medium, what you talk about, so clearly there are three V's which come out as a loud and clear in this segment. Three V's we talk about as a strategy for the digital part of rural space. Three V's are actually talking about. The first is the vernacular medium. Everybody wants to have the vernacular as a need from the consumer. So anything that goes to the rural medium has to be in the vernacular language, its own language. Second V is actually the video content. Video is another part which is playing loud and clear. So many of the states where the YouTube is playing bigger medium than the television. That's another way. So that's another third V. And the last V is actually about the voice assist. Because many of the rural Indians cannot type in English or cannot type in the many languages. So what is the voice assist mechanism for them to get the information? So these are the changing needs in that context from my side.
Wonderful. I think two key takeaways that I'm getting from here is, in India, any number that we speak about, that's a scale. Like you mentioned, 352 million people in rural India have access to this. That's more than the population of USA. USA stands at about 330 million. So any number that we have is that scale, and if we address the needs of that market, we have a viable business right there. And the second, of course, like you said, vernacular medium, video and voice, I think really, really important aspect. Let me now come to Mr. Rajiv Velan. And Mr. Velan, what I would want to understand from you over various years of your experience in this industry, how have you seen the customer needs evolving for this industry over the last decade? How have the needs of the customers evolved, and how do you see the next 5 to 10 years in terms of the needs for the customer?
In the tractor industry, if you see, over the period of time, a lot of usage has changed. So earlier the usage was only a cultivator or something like that. And because of the change in pattern of the farming, I think a lot of new technology has really evolved. And like PTO driven things has become more prominent, and more people have started using it. And because of, as Mahesh already said, because of the internet penetration, I think farmer is also now aware what is going on all the places. Earlier he was only confined to his village, so he was not aware of that thing. But I personally feel because of this internet penetration and the road connectivity, which has improved over the years, I think the knowledge of the farmers is going up, and the changing in the farming pattern has really making farmers aware of everything which is going on across the world, and he is using the new implements. And as you said, the second question, that how you see, actually India is sectorized now, but not mechanized. So mechanization in various areas is going to be the next phase. Like in the transplanting, in the sowing, I think people are doing with their own hands today also, and labor dependent. Because of the shortage of labor and all other things, I think mechanization is going to be a key thing. As globally the mechanization industry is much bigger than the tractor industry, value-wise, which is going to be slowly coming to India. That's my view.
I think with that, all the people in this room will benefit from the rise in mechanization in India. I'll now come to Mr. Vibhas Kumar, and I want to ask a very fundamental question, which is very central to our panel discussion today, and that is, what's your view on customer centricity, right? And how has it been impacted with this digital revolution?
Hi everyone. I think customer centricity is the universe in which everybody works. be it tractors or be it anybody. And probably it is much bigger than customer service or marketing or communication. It's a philosophy of business. And we will be customer focused, but customer centricity is beyond customer focus. Everybody is customer focused for history, right? But customer centricity is when the organization is aligned to the customer behavior, the customer needs, and customer expectations. And we have no barriers to serve the customer. Probably we have seen people in sales, marketing, and maybe the service department handling customers, but that is not customer centricity. That is, I would say, at least customer care. But centricity is when this reaches till the manufacturing, to the design, and it is going from top to bottom. And it's really, really a challenge. We are often seeing that every company wants to be caring about customers, but there are fractures in how we work. It stops, or we have to do a lot of internal communications to get that right. So probably customer centricity is much more than customer care or customer focus. And we see that some companies who have realized it are really moving fast. And when it comes to the second question, how digital is changing, I would say we often see the front end digital, like interface with customer. That is a very small piece of customer centricity. The bigger piece is how that customer interface is linked to the organization that is trying to be customer centric, which means how quickly a customer's query or a customer's expectation or a customer's problem is solved throughout the organization. And it does not break at a point where we say, okay, we will come back to you after 5 days, and then we say we need 5 more days, because there is a challenge internally within the company and we are trying to solve it. So it has to be really, really, I would say, agile thing with digital coming in. And we also have one more advantage with the digital, that we can, earlier we had to do market research to understand a customer, which was very tedious in Google. Today we have got some better means through digital, like, you can go to social media, understand their perceptions, understand from their behavior as to whether what they are talking about the brand. So that is quite a powerful tool, but do we really act on that? Do we really monitor it? And then what do we do with that? It's that we see that it's a positive feedback or a negative feedback, but how a strategy is being impacted by that is really, really where I would say customer centricity ideology is important. I get an input through digital, but I don't act, and I'm digital but not customer centric. This is what I'm saying. But digital within the organization is as important as between customer and the customer care department of the company. So probably this is how I look at customer centricity.
Right. So hearing the customer and acting on that. Right. This is Sanjay.
Am I audible? Yeah. Can I add?
Please.
Sorry, because I will give you a little different perspective.
Sure.
You're talking about customer centricity. Digitalization is helping a lot. So if you think, visualize it in a different fashion, it is shifting from product centric to customer centric. Previously, whole thing was run by the R&D, that we have this product and the customer has to choose from the given options. But now it is that customer centricity and digitization is helping, taking customer feedback, taking customer views, and shifting from market share to customer mind share. And digitization is the main thing which is helping all this change. And I'm forcing that the progress which we have seen in the last 5 years, maybe next 3 years it will be 3 times what we are.
Absolutely. In fact, what digital is doing is it's short-circuiting the entire communication between the customer and the manufacturer. It's bringing the customer closer, and that has positives as well as negatives associated. You come to know if something's wrong, and people create a louder noise, of course, when they are not getting what they want. But they are also advocates. right? The customer, if he loves what you are selling to him, he will tell his friends. And the word spreads like wildfire, goes viral, as they say in digital, right? My next question is to you, Mr. Sandeep. And what I want to understand from you is that, like Mr. Relan mentioned, that we're still lacking in mechanization and more so on the agri farm equipment side. We've seen good growth over the last couple of years on the farm equipment side, but I would say that's still quite underpenetrated when it comes to equipment. Although on the tractor side, which is the horse, we are quite penetrated, but not so much on the equipment side. Just wanted to understand from you, how is the need of the Indian farmer different from some of the other evolved geographies?
You're right, Bhushan. If you talk about the agriculture industry and divide between the tractors revenue versus the implement revenue, the ratio in India may be 65 versus 35 or maybe 70 versus 30. And if you go to the developed countries, it is the reverse. In India, I fully agree, it is not the pace is very slow. It is still under-penetrated because we have our own characteristics. We have a lot of changes in the cropping pattern every 100 kilometers, or even less than that. The cropping pattern gets changed. The other major factor is our small land holdings and availability of the horsepower, farm horsepower, or in another way, the average tractor horsepower, because of which people or multinationals which are they have a smaller setup over here, they can bring much faster mechanized solution or the bigger end of the machinery. For the farmers, affordability, low land holdings, and other factors like prime mover, availability of the prime mover is a big hindrance to that. The average, if we talk about our average earning of our farmer, it is not more than $1,200 a year, which is very, very low for him to buy such kind of equipment. The other thing is, if you see here, for higher equipment, if we talk about, let's say, combine harvesters or sugarcane harvesters, or the bigger machines, the individual farmer is not able to afford that. So it is basically through the contractor segment. Whereas if you go to the developed countries, most of these machines are owned by bigger farmers because they have the need. So all these things were designed thinking of the individual customer needs. But here there is a conflict between the contractor segment and the need of the farmer, the time when he needs whether he will get that machine or not. So in my view, a lot of things has to happen. Government of India is facilitating through even digitization also. If we are talking about digitization, they have a digital agricultural mission launched a few months back only, and they have tied up with 5-6 bigger giants like Cisco, IBC, Geo, and they are doing a lot of things. In fact, if we have to increase our pace in this direction, the private-public partnership can only help in this direction.
Just as a follow-up, do you see some white spaces in the Indian market in terms of the product offering versus the market need? Given, like you said, the earning of a farm family in India is close to about 1,20,000 only in rupee terms, and that in a family of 4 to 5 works out to just rupees 2,000 per person a month, which is paltry, right? So, are there some white spaces there?
There are very, very white spaces. If we talk about the seeding technology, let's say, so either we have a high-end pneumatic seeding machines or very low-end mechanical seeding machines. And if we talk about precision seeding machines, there is a dearth of that. If we talk about the volume which is being sold in India, about the little high-end machines, it is not even 200 machines of the high end, because all these machines come with a price which customers think that it is only usage for 10 days a year or 15 days a year if there is a two season. So he can't afford that. And whereas a mechanical seeding machine, they don't have the precision, they don't have seed-to-seed control, they don't have row-to-row control. So one is the very major segment which I am forcing, that the seeding machines India needs that. Another is on the crop care. There's a lot of dust as well as the crop care is concerned. We are good in seedbed preparation, we are good in harvesting machines. But if we talk about the crop care, there is a wide space. Because the kind of mechanization or kind of sprayers we are using, they are not in the right content. Even there is a lot of issues going on in Europe because of the content or because of the other things. There also people are shifting to some of the mechanical going around the machines. So India has a lot of potential as far as these two segments are concerned.
Mr. Vela, you have a point?
So I want to add, I think he is a very relevant point. The only thing is that the affordable range of Indian farmers, we have to pick up things as a technology, democratize it and on affordable prices in the India. In case we are able to supply those things, I think that is going to be the future of this mechanization.
Right.
Because farmers alone cannot afford such a maybe 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs machine. I think on an affordable price, in case we can develop a smaller technology, because we have got a very small farm size, then I think it is going to benefit and future is there.
Right. Thanks everyone for those valuable insights. I'll now move to a specific question from Mr. Ranjit Thakur. And this is to do with something that Mr. Bimal touched upon. Is, for a critical machinery like tractor, downtime is of a lot of concern for farmers, and especially during the peak season, peak Rabi or Kharif season. How do you, in your customer conversation, what is your assessment when you are speaking to customers regarding downtime, and what are you doing to address such requirements from the farmer?
Thank you, Bhushan. Good evening, everyone. So this is not only about the peak season. 365 days, 24/7, we are committed to our customers. We always care for them. So in this direction, in April 2019, we had introduced Care 24/7 direct button. So that helps customers to directly connect with the company. Two-way communication can be established between the customer and with the company. So this concept was introduced in April 2019. All the tractors are fitted with Care device that is fitted around the very close to the dashboard. So if somebody wants to connect with the company, you just have to push the button. The moment you push the button, then you get connected with our call center. We receive the message, and the call center is basically having complete multilingual round-the-clock team sitting there. Technically, they are capable to connect with the customer. Within 2 minutes, they have to connect with the customer. They have to try to resolve the issues over phone. If the things are getting closed over phone, this is well and good. If not, then in that case, within 2 hours, we assign one technician, and that has the target to resolve the issues within 2 days. Coming to the Care device. So Care device is basically consists of one microphone, speaker and SIM. So whenever we receive the message, we get connected with the customer on the registered mobile number. Okay. And now here is one scenario. If customer has bought the tractor, but tractor is driven by the driver. So customer is somewhere else. So what will happen? Immediately in 2 minutes, call will be given to the customer on the registered mobile number, but he is not there. So we will coordinate, we will see whether they can come closer to the driver or not. If not, then in that case, we will directly make call to the tractor fitted with the Care device. Since, as I have already expressed, so it consists of microphone and speaker, so we can establish two-way communication with the customer. So either it is peak season or normal time. So you can directly interact directly with the company. So we try to resolve the issues on the utmost priority. And I would like to say across 300,000 tractors, approximately 3 lakh tractors of spots under Power Track and Farm Track brand, which are already running in the market fitted with this Care device. So I would like to say this was one of the big steps towards customer centricity. And we are not stopping here. Recently, we are also experimenting one of the brand promise that is called zero downtime. So that is in the piloting stage. So we are making the commitment to the farmers. If your tractor is off-road. So we will try to fix same day. If you are not able to do it, then we will offer you the standby tractor. So your job cannot be on hold. So this is what we are trying to do from the customer centricity and enhancing the uptime point of view.
Thanks, Rajesh, for sharing that. I've asked questions to 5 gentlemen. Gaurav is still remaining. Gaurav is in a unique situation, at an advantage or a disadvantage, the way you look at it. His customers are right here, unlike the other. All his customers, but partially. The other set of customers are, of course, still the farmers or the aftermarket business. So Gaurav, I would want to understand from you, how are the needs of these two customer segments, the farmers as well as the OEM, how are they different?
So thank you, Kushan, and first of all, we're really honored to be part of this esteemed panel. You talked about the fact that the competition might heat up in the coming days. Well, I'm not complaining. We can take care of your requirements. And coming to the question which you have asked, so I think, and I think my esteemed analysts will agree, be the OEMs or be the farmers, everyone is looking for a quality product. From the OEM side, I think there is a product or a tire which is built, which has got higher perceived quality, that adds to the overall value of the product. Right? And I have come across instances, and I think the panelists will agree, where how at a retail level, the price which a dealer charges for a tractor to the customer increases if the perceived value of the products which are fitted on the tractor is higher in eyes of the customer. So I think it's basically the same for customer and the OEMs. The customer end, as you rightly pointed out, that we are looking at low downtime. We don't want any kind of downtime, especially during the peak time of Kharif, sowing and seasons. Also, this is typically already a high cost input. If I talk about all the inputs which the farmer takes, this is a high cost input. And typically a farmer changes this in 4 to 5 years. So he doesn't want to take a wrong decision or go for a product which he feels doesn't have the right quality. And that might end up leading into a downtime during the farming season and also giving him lower price. So just the cost of fitting, I think the requirement is the same from the OEM partners as well as farmers. That product which has got good quality is what they are looking for.
Sure. Thanks, Gaurav, for sharing that. I'll now move to Mr. Vimal again. And what I want to understand from you is that, we spoke about internet penetration increasing, reaching rural India. Mr. also spoke about not just data, but the ease of drive, road connectivity increasing. How is it that this change, and more so on the data side with internet penetration, how has it helped you in understanding customer needs? And the second part is in targeting your solutions to them, right? So in understanding what they want and then reaching out to them with the right solution.
I think understanding customer need is quite tricky, But we have got a lot of advantage from the YouTubers that are sitting here. Because, we cannot really see every application that customer does, but the YouTubers bring that at a very micro level. So I would appreciate the contribution of all of you guys here. Vernacular things, the interviews, they give you a partial info. But if you look at a video and then, the guy talks, it gives a lot of ideas to us as to, what more can be done. And then we also get a lot of competitive information through those videos, which is very tough to get, or very costly, I would say, to get on a real-time basis. So these two things are quite useful when we have to understand the customer's expectations and what's happening in the market. So this is quite a useful area, I would say. When it comes to a structured, survey to digital, I think it's not working well because customers don't really participate in surveys is what we have found. But for sure, one area is these videos, and second is then the social media where they put comments, positive, negative, good, bad. So these two things together is quite a powerful way of getting insights, and then you have to verify it through your own on the ground study. But yes, digital has really, as you said, short-circuited the delay between the customer usage practices. As Mr. Sanjay was saying that every 100 kilometers you have a different usage. I would say another thing, every 3 months the customer designs a better usage from that. So you don't, it's like a horse. It is being used for n number of things from, I mean agriculture is one field, but we use it for, you name it, right? Everywhere the tractors are visible. So you can understand the usages and then you see whether your product is suitable for that or how to make it suitable. So this is on the inside. Second is how we address or reach to our customer. I think it's a very, very big opportunity because you can customize your message looking at all the 3 V's as to what type of a video, what type of communication in which language you have to do to which customer. Otherwise, you only have the mass marketing. Like if you have a newspaper, you can only do as much in a newspaper in terms of what you want to communicate. But if it is on digital, you can communicate through videos is most popular, I would say. Second is voice. And you can also show a product, you can show the usage. And to every customer, if you have a very great data analytics at the back end, you can send the right content to a right customer, which would be different in the same village as well, which is very, very difficult, without digital. If I go to a village, I can take one tractor demonstrate, but digitally I can give 10 different messages to 10 different customers if I have their profile map, and I can, generate the right content based on that profile. So I would say data would play a big role as we progress. Today it is not mature, but for sure digital is going to create a customized message, and automated is also important. Otherwise manual is very tough. So this is, I would say, the future that I foresee for all of us in sales and marketing going forward.
Right. I think really important and interesting insight there on how different, how you can target different customers in a differentiated manner. I think Gaurav, you have a point there.
Yeah, I just want to add what Mr. Vimal said. I'm in complete agreement with him. And I think we have also realized the power of YouTube, wherein we use some influencers, that is some of them are here also. So, and how it actually helped us reach out to the customer and do a very targeted kind of communication. And not only YouTube, I think I was reading about how there are new apps like Moz, Josh, Chikari, which are short video apps, and how brands across spectrum of different industries are using them to communicate about the product. So I guess the marketing landscape is changing, and over the 5 years is going to further change. Wherein I think it's going to move more towards digital, more marketing is going to move towards digital, and so I think that is the trend which is going to increase going forward.
Right. Absolutely. The customers are quite different. They need different things. They need differentiated communication as well. Which is why now I'll come to Mr. Kulkarni again. And what I would want to understand from you, Mr. Kulkarni, is just stretching the same topic that we were just discussing. In India, we have 86% of our farmers who are small and marginal. Some of them might not be in a position to buy a tractor. And then we have the remaining 14% comprising of medium and large farmers. How do you address the needs of this differentiated market, right? Both on the tractor side as well as a service like Krishni that Mahindra is offering, which is into digital fusion, precision farming, name of you. So, would you want to share some experiences around that?
Yeah, so I will just connect two dots what is discussed so far here. So, like you talked about somebody talked about the customer centricity. Saab said about the affordability. He gave the example about how the care button actually made it possible to connect with the customer that is there. When it about the farm mechanization, what is the way ahead for? If you plot all that in the digital space and slice it based on the customer segmentation part of it, who will need what kind of incentive solution from the manufacturers or the organization, then you can see that, as you rightly said, if you broadly categorize the Indian farming group into 2 categories, and one category you can say that maybe a farmer who is using the tractor 30% of his time for the agri application, but 60-70% time for the commercial application. I'm saying that's a typical way of marginal or medium farmer. What is about 86% of the profile. Maybe the large farmer is using it for a totally different kind of application. Like maybe the agri produce needs to be enhanced, and that is more requirement is actually how to increase the yield, productivity or cost optimization, resources optimization, and so on. And if you plot that what the digital technology can do both of these profiles in a manner, and keeping in mind these parameters. So there are various solutions which can be actually talked about in that sense. From the sales side, we talked about the vernacular tapping and all that part of it. More than that, actually, we can go ahead and still give them the little more advantages while maybe some platforms can be provided, which can be actually give the finance kind of clarification, or maybe the resale of tractors can be one of the areas. Maybe on the service side, which the platforms can actually deliver the online purchase of the parts can be one of the areas which can be totally unexplored. And that will actually add to convenience, add to the overall purchasing pattern, the experience part of it. Maybe the rental model can come in that sense, the selling area. So those are the horizons in the sales and service part. Maybe you can say online purchasing is another area. Hardly it's normally happening in the tractor industry. Like can be really do the online booking and find the service actually coming to my doorstep, and we talk about pressing the button. We do about somebody gives a missed call to me and it is linked to the dealership, and the operator goes to his place and to the doorstep service. So those are all the areas which can talk about the sales and service experience. That's the one leg of it. The second leg of it actually is the many services that can actually add to the whole game, which is actually talked about maybe the precision farming or the Krishi kind of solution, which is the advisory to the farmers. You can use the IoT-based technology, which will give the overall the spraying, which can automate it, the hydraulics that will actually implement to different levels, and your productivity can increase. Then you can use your tractor, which is we have got a distance kind of application, which allows you to tractor to actually navigate, locate. You can actually monitor it. You can actually use it for the better efficiency and so on. So there is a lot of umbrella that is available for a digital solution market, and we can work upon that as a trend.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Gandhi, for that. I now go to Mr. Ranjit Thakur. And again, we've been speaking about it. Our friends at Tractor Junction also spoke about the role of e-commerce, right? And we've seen e-commerce play a very critical role on the two-wheeler side. There are OEMs that are going just direct to customer using the online channel. How are you seeing the role of e-commerce and online sales in the tractor industry? If you could share some trends around that.
I think this is very relevant and necessary question as of now when the things are moving everything is going for digitization. And especially if you see any sector, whether it is automotives or commodities or FMCG, FMEG, everywhere, so sales has started shifting from brick to click. Okay, so earlier the modus operandi for selling any tractor was you have to route through brick and mortar channel. But as rightly specified by you, in commercial vehicles or in two-wheeler industry, sales has already started through e-commerce platforms. So in this direction, I would like to first of all share something about some data. Like Government of India has recently in last 2 to 3 years, they have worked a lot through Digital India, Skill India, and that helps a lot to enhance the internet penetration across the country. Okay, and especially if I am referring the data of PRAI last year, so as per that, more than 825 million people have started using internet in the country. Especially if I see the rural penetration of internet, so that is approximately 35%. So customers are very much aware. So it's not only about urban market. In rural market also customer has started using the internet for exploring the product, for knowing about the product, which kind of product they have to buy, what should be the comparison between the products. So all type of informations are easily accessible to the customers. So in this direction we anticipated 4 years back, and we introduced the online platform, online brand, so that is called DigiTrack. So DigiTrack enables farmers to buy the tractor online. Okay, so app is available on the Play Store. You can download the app You can go for a demo request. So somebody will visit from our side. They will showcase you the demo. If you are convinced with the product performance, then you can go for the transaction over portal only. So all these things are helping farmers to buy the tractors online. The purpose of DigiTrack was not only limited to enable the farmers to buy the tractors online. However, we are offering 3 key features. So one is, like, customer can see the transparent pricing. Whatever the transaction price is there, it is available on the app. We are selling 3-4 models, prices are available, that is comprises of your insurance, RTO, everything. And you are directly dealing with the company. Second thing, you are getting the product direct from the company. So that is factory-based concept. So if you are buying the tractor, we will deliver at your doorstep. And the third thing is no question asked warranty. So enabling customers to buy the tractor online, that is one aspect. Apart from that, 3 key features are also being given. So overall value proposition, that is much more enhanced. Through this platform, we have already sold approximately 2,000 tractors in last 4 years. And the way market is getting changed, I can visualize 3 to 4 years down the line. We may see a rapid shift from this brick and mortar to this model. And considering that, we are also exploring the opportunity to scale this idea.
Thanks for sharing those thoughts. I'll now go to Gaurav again. And Gaurav, if you look at the commercial tractor usage, 2-3 years back, we've seen a sharp uptick in the usage. And now, again, with infrastructure capex expected to pick up, we believe that the commercial usage of tractors, non-agri purposes might go up. Higher horsepower tractors are of course used for that segment. How do you see the needs of that particular customer segment on the farmer side?
If I talk about the profile of the customer, I think it's very unlike farmers. Actually, more like a short-haul truck customer. So typical usage is also like that, wherein typically a farmer uses the product for 4 to 5 years, as I mentioned. His needs are different. He looks for more maybe grip on the soil when he's farming. Whereas if you talk about a customer uses in commercial application, he's looking for better load carrying capability. He's looking for a tire. Again, the usage is over 10 to 12 months. The usage is also more intense, more a daily based usage. If we talk about farming, it's still rabi and kharif, and some of them might use in a bit of foliage, but typically that's the major usage. So I think, just to repeat myself, but it's more like a truck usage, where the customer is just looking for load carrying capability. Also, the things which get the product into the consideration set also very different. The customer is looking for a tire which is robust, is taller, broader. So that's about the commercial segment. And as you rightly said, this is going to pick up further because of the fact that there are certain applications where the tractor only can reach out to it. For example, a timber. It is very popular in Goa, it's a young big volume segment. And typically, the place from where a timber is got, it's only tractor which can reach it. That is what is fueling the growth of tractors in the commercial application.
Thanks, Gaurav, for sharing that. So we have the last couple of questions, and I have reserved the last one for you, Mr. Desan. So I'll go for the penultimate question to Mr. Sanjay Kapoor. If you look at the Indian market, like I said, 86% of our farmers are small and marginal. But interestingly, they own only 47% of the land. The remaining 14% own 53% of the land. So that itself a large addressable market. And where I'm going with this question is, on the automated equipment, something that you referred to earlier, like seeder, do you see India being a meaningful and large market for such equipment?
I covered that, so there is a wide space available. The only characteristic which I would like to say is that in India the practices are little different, and there are a lot of crops we grow. If you go to US or go to Europe, part of that, if at one part if you see potato, it's a large holdings only of it. So you get the total ecosystem working for that kind of machines, seeds, harvesting, seeding available for that. But here, besides two major crops, let's say paddy and wheat, there are there, maize is there, onions are there, cotton is there. So every region has a different requirement. And then the seeding practices are altogether different. Like in Maharashtra, if you go at one part of Maharashtra to other part of Maharashtra, the seeding practices are entirely different. So for that seeding practices, the local and unorganized seeding machines are prevalent because customer is habitual. Customer does not want to shift to a little higher end solution which the manufacturer or the machine people say, because they are still on the same. If I go for that, whether I get the right kind of yield or not. This was the same issue when we were in CNH, my ex-company, when the sugarcane harvester was launched. So the practices of whether it is before pit planting or by pit planting, so it took a little time. So if the OEM manufacturer here go for like CNH, John Deere, all big companies are here. They have to cater to 10 or 15 types of different seeds. No one machine will be able to seed all kind of seeds. So either small to medium, maybe one machine, medium to large will be different machines. And it requires a lot of investments. So putting a lot of investment and seeing whether it will take a high incubation period for the volumes to come into the field, that's a different thing.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that. We've come to the last question, and Mr. Relan, I would like to address that to you. I think Mr. Gulgani has a point to make.
Just to add to the point what we have raised, that's very resistant by the farmers to change it. And this is one of the initiatives, what you were talking about earlier, about the 3 the advisory to farmers, physically with their product. So, and that's one of the exercises we are actually experimenting in right now, which is actually taking 1 acre of his plot and 9 acres he can use himself, and demonstrating how that 1 acre can give the maybe double or triple the kind of the yield by doing this practices what he's talking about, and then he will get them. That's the process only with this.
Right. I think what you're mentioning is an extremely important point, and the reason why I say that is this taking capability for a farmer is very low in India. And one can imagine, if someone is earning 1,20,000 in a family of 5 per year, how does he really take risk, right? So something like that, seeing, believing, and demonstrating the success, I think that's what can really bring about change. If time permits, we can go to the audience and the organizers could indicate that. But I'll come to my last question, which is on service, right? And, the customer really, after the product is sold, service is of paramount importance for critical equipment like tractors. We've seen multiple OEMs bring out doorstep service, right? What we wanted to understand is how much are these doorstep services a percentage of the overall service request that is coming from farmers? And from an OEM perspective, is this a cost center or is this economically viable?
First of all, I think everybody has mentioned about, I would like to start that there is a huge difference between the customer satisfaction, customer service and customer experience. All 3 are different. Customer experience is clearly at all touch points how we are going to serve the customers. And it's not normally when the customer centricity or customer service or if something comes out, I think people think that if the machine goes something wrong, I think how to repair, how in 24 hours, 15 hours or something we can give the good service, parts availability. I think customer experience is entirely different. And doorstep service is one of the things which is creating a very good customer experience. And to my view, I don't know about the what is going in the industry, but my view is Mahindra level or Swaraj level. I think this doorstep service is doing very, very well, and particularly in the COVID period, how the organization has went out of the way and helped the customer by supplying the parts and service to a customer before the season when the workshops were closed, showrooms were closed, people were not coming to the workshop. I think that has created a very good experience among the customers. So customers are liking it and more opting it. And digital is going to help this out because we have created an app. A lot of companies have created an app. You can book your service on the app, and the customer, the dealer representative will go to your place and give you the service. And it is not, it is very much viable with the OEMs. The thing is, everything is the same. Only the going and coming cost is the person is there. Otherwise, he was in the workshop. Or whatever the oil, whatever the consumables you are going to sell, you are going to sell. Only thing is, it is the cost. And I think, suppose you make a trip as a make-run basis and fix up the dates according to that customers, I think it is very much viable and doable to my view. And it is going to be a good delight and a lifetime value to customers.
Thank you.
Just to add what Kiran sir said actually, in fact, it will allow the dealer to grow the business. Because it is actually the customer is not going to come to you, maybe he will start coming and will start retention will go.
A lot of inquiries also, when you go to a village and do a doorstep service, a lot of new inquiries comes to you, a lot of people get attracted to you. I think it is the very good. Otherwise, creating the inquiry is also very, very expensive. To give a one newspaper ad, it is going to cost a huge. Once you are going to a village and you are catering to that village a whole day, I think it's a very good proposition.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And e-vehicles and all, I think with coming, the things will come up. The commuting will also become cheaper. I think it is going to be viable to my.
Sure. Yes, Ranjit.
I just want to add one more thing what Sir has said and Mr. Kulkarni has said. In case of tractors, as compared to car or commercial vehicle, distance is very high. So in car industry, you can get your dealers in 5 to 10 kilometer radius. However, in tractor industry, on an average, it is still 30 to 40 kilometers. Okay. So on one hand, it helps the dealer to enhance the service market share. You retain your farmers for a longer time. On the other hand, customers are also getting benefited because for one service, they have to travel 30 to 40 kilometers and it consumes a lot of diesel. So, of course, doorstep service is fantastic from the tractor industry point of view. Thank you.
Thanks, Ranjit. So, in fact, really a huge round of applause for all these gentlemen for sharing their wonderful thoughts with us. There are a lot of insights for us to take away from here. I think critically listening to customers, understanding their evolving needs, understanding the media also that is changing, mode of communication, digital channels. There's so much big data out there. It's for us to absorb really what the customer is talking, segment them into differentiated needs, and how we can bring out our solutions to them. And like you said, the only person who knows you better than your mother is Mark Zuckerberg, right? Because Facebook has all your data, they understand you uniquely, and they target their solutions uniquely. And that's, I think, where the industry needs to strive in a meaningful, more meaningful way, I should say. With that, we come to the end of the panel discussion. If there is time for 5 minutes, you're going to take it. We can take a couple of audience questions. Do we have 5 minutes, or shall we close? All right. I think we're getting an indication that we're slightly running over. Okay, I have just one question. We'll take. All right. If someone can pass this gentleman here a mic. Or I can just pass on. Please identify yourself and you can ask the question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ankush Patil. I am Commercial Director in Summit Oyster. Actually, this is not a question. This is adding to the last discussion which was happening about the door-to-door service. I have a difference of opinion. I'm not contradicting any of the opinions, but just to put my point in front of the panel and the audience.
See, essentially the difference between a tractor and any other vehicle or automobile is they are luxury and tractor is a breadwinner for a farmer. This is the only automobile tractor after selling it brings money back to the table of the customer, be it a farmer or a contractor. Whereas any other vehicle, it essentially takes away your money. So, door-to-door service, I'll come to the point because of the time shortage. Door-to-door service, though it became a USP for some organizations in India for fast selling of the tractors, but essentially it is hurting the product. How I will try to explain in just 30 seconds. There are a lot of things which a tractor needs in every service. There are a lot of things which cannot happen in the customer's doorstep because nowadays the tractors are very rich, technically very advanced than the cars or the trucks. I see some of my products costing 25 lakhs. Cars in that range, are Audi and other multinational brands. So those things cannot be done in a customer's doorstep. There are air filters, there are a lot of sensors nowadays. With Train 4 coming in, there will be lot many sensors in tractors. So this is just an appeal to the forum and through Tractor Junction, I would like to appeal to all the decision makers because I see all big people in the tractor industry sitting on the dais. So I have no objection to making door-to-door service as a USP. But my point is, if we don't encourage it, it will really benefit the real farmer, the customer which we are talking about here on the stage. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. And with that, we've come to close this session. I hope you've taken at least some valuable insights that you could implement when you go back to work. Thanks a lot for